Hello, lore heads, and welcome to The League, exploring the League of Legends lore from A to Z. My name is Rebecca.
And I'm John.
My name is Mark.
Today we're talking about the Pride of Nazumah, Cassante, who was just released November 2nd, 2022.
Yeah, we finally got to go back. And they released him with a short story, so we didn't have to wait like we had to do for frickin' Action.
We didn't have to.
We didn't have to. We just
did
did.
a little.
We did.
You know what? It's like
It's a little bit of forgetting.
I mean, okay, but like for example, with Poppy, when she's pooping, you like wait a minute or two, right? Just in case something else comes out, you know?
Honestly, yeah.
Because he
Same
could have
logic.
showed up in the cinematic. In our bright-eyed, bushy-tailed expectations for this year's cinematic, there was always the thought in the back of the head, maybe Cassante?
I would like to say that was how I thought, but I legitimately forget every year that they put out a cinematic. So honestly, Riot could have released no video rather than the video that they released, and I wouldn't have noticed, but a lot of people would
Probably would have been better.
Yeah, you know, there's something to be said for like, what is it when something's bad and you don't release it, even though like the opposite of sunk cost. I don't know what that is. The float. Nope.
I just got poop on the brain because we were talking about the babies now, so I'm not sure.
But just don't release something bad.
They already got enough shit for it. It's fine. We're beating the dead horse now. Beating the dead Hecarim.
He would have been cool if he was in it.
Oh yeah, that would have been cool.
All right. This is us in the fucking Rise of the Sentinels will never get over. I'll get over this.
yeah, this will pass. Just be a bad memory. But Rise of the Sentinels.
Yes.
Yeah. We won't have future lore being impacted by the fact that
That's fair.
the cinematic wasn't good.
Exactly.
We're not going to be reading Champions 2 years down the line like, oh my god, why aren't they in the cinematic?
Why aren't they in this fucking... he does have a short story, though. He has a bio and a short story, and that's what's linked on his page.
In a cinematic, which...
Oh, yeah. He has a teaser cinematic. Was that linked on
I don't
Universe?
think it was
it
linked.
is.
I don't remember it being linked.
No.
But it's cool.
It's really
It should be
cool.
linked.
Yeah. Did he have 2 pre-release cinematics, or am I high?
Well, I mean, I don't want to cast aspersions. I don't know what you do in your free time. But he only had one, I'm pretty sure.
If he did, I don't remember the second one.
Okay, I think I'm just ripped again. I'm always so stowed.
Rabonka. No.
That's why I'm gonna change my Twitter name to that on 420.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, Rabonka.
You sound like it's like a robot name. I don't know, whatever.
That just bonks people.
Instead of Bender, it's a bonker. If I were a robot, that's what I'd want to do.
That's a good job if you can get it.
Yeah. I feel like I'm like 15 again. Is that something you would like say like when you were trying to be cute? Like you glomp people, like glomp, bonk. I feel like that's something I would have done when I was like, hey, wait, so cute.
Do you hold up sport? Like
sport. So random.
Spoon.
Meow, meow.
do you think that
Did you guys also meow at people when you were a teenager?
No, we did different things.
No, because I
We
was
quoted Monty Python at each other.
Oh, we did that too. Yeah.
Until I can never watch Monty Python again.
He legit just Holy Grail. You can watch the other ones, but he really hates Holy Grail now.
It's a combination of quoting it so much as a kid and being part of like a Ren Fair your whole life. You hear nothing but fucking Monty Python and the Holy Grail quotes.
I still think it's
after a certain point.
it does like stop being funny. It's not the movie's fault, right? Where it's just like I've heard
It's
it.
true. It's not it's a great movie. I mean, if you haven't seen it, somehow it's worth the watch.
I have found I will get you though if I drop like a really random Holy Grail quote that'll like catch you off
a
guard.
non-mainstream quote sometimes.
I think the one I do a lot is "What the curtains," and that one usually gets you because I don't know why, but that's one of my favorite lines in the whole movie.
It's the way he delivers it, like he's dying. Let the curtains.
And so whenever someone's like all of this, or like they're looking at all of that, or pointing to something, I just immediately think, "What the curtains?"
I like that you're like Monty Python quote hipster. It's like I
do like I don't like the mainstream
Normal quotes are a little too mainstream.
Tis but a scratch. No one cares. You've all said it so many times. It's not funny anymore. But the curtains. That's so great. I really would like some kind of shirt or apparel that's like, I only say, hipster Monty Python quotes only.
Holy Grail hipster.
Holy Grail hipster. There you go.
Anywho,
Cassante. I didn't listen to him. Is he one we're not doing voices for?
It's a very like strong kind of like African accent.
Okay.
Which has heavy rolled R's, so it just sounds Scottish when I do it.
Well, you can do a quote then. I'm not going to, but
I don't really remember
your Scottish accent is so great.
No monster greater than pride.
Okay.
God,
I feel like he probably doesn't sound like that at all.
No, he doesn't. But
Fruit.
But the greater and pride, pretty spot.
God, it's like we're almost back into a D&D session when you start doing that voice. It's just like
it is. That's the voice he uses.
Oh my
in
God.
D&D.
Also, he's got a line that says, haha, see the way they scramble like baby armadillos. And we just did Ramus, and it made me
That's true.
guffaw.
Yeah, they mentioned armadillos in some other one of his pieces, either the bio or the no, it's in the story. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is funny.
Cassante, crazy about armadillos.
Loves the armadillos.
Armadillos. Let's make it fucking clear.
Yeah. Well, hang on. Was it the armadillo?
I'm pretty sure it was. I'm gonna check right now. You hold that.
He's got one
card.
quote to the armadillo that we talked about during the Ramus episode.
Where is he fucking?
Ray calls him a Bakai.
Do you think Riot will ever release an armadillo?
Armor? Like it's steel? Like it's iron?
Hey,
is it Ramus themed? Is it spiked?
You can get metal dildos, first of all.
I mean, sure.
Second of all,
yeah.
there's a fetish for everything.
I
Don't
guess
even look at me like that.
That's fair, I suppose. I was thinking like armor is in like just the most uncomfortable thing, right? Like also
yeah, our armor historically not known for its comfort.
it goes outside the soft bits, like it protects them.
Sarah and I always like to make fun of erotic novels, like ways to describe penises and other things. And our favorite one to this day is Velvet Wrapped Steel, because that does not feel like something I think is sexy or want. Yeah. Velvet Wrapped Steel. Velvet's very dry.
Want silk?
True.
Silk wrapped
Not known
steel?
for
Is that
its-
better?
Oh God, that sounds bad too.
That
Better.
doesn't offer much protection from the steel.
It's all hurting. So Cassante.
Nothing will top quivering member from 10 Things I Hate About You Anyway.
That's that's just a normal one.
Yeah, that's normal.
Yeah, it's normal.
It's normal.
Sorry, I'm not doing the hipster penis.
You gotta do the hipster ones, John. You're just saying the mainstream. Cassante was a normal boy in Shurima. I think we just gotta get into it. He grew up hearing tales from his father about the ancestors who fought the Ascended, which I love. I don't think I realized there were people who they were like, we're gonna fight the Ascended. Fuck them. And that's fantastic, because they should be fought.
I mean, a bunch of people fought the Ascended in Jax's story. They just didn't do great.
That's true. You're right. It's been so long since Jax.
They weren't afraid to try. They just sucked at it real bad.
They sucked eggs. His mom also told stories about how the Nazumah found a land in South Shurima, which would eventually become Nazumah.
Nazumah. He does say it in his quote, so we have actual pronunciations.
So Nazumah. Okay, Nazumah. Where they could live free of the Ascended. Cassante trained with martial teachers and studied with scholars, more at his parents' suggestion, as Cassante is kind of a hothead, as we'll learn later. So Cassante eventually began hunting. Is he like going out hunting Ascended? Is he going out hunting Ascended monsters? Is he just
not
hunting
even
things?
that? He's just monster hunting.
Just monster hunting. I love it.
The whole thing actually had pretty big just monster hunter vibes in general. Just like, fighting bigger and better monsters to make bigger and better weapons.
It just reminded me.
Yes.
It just felt like Neela a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
But
except like less ambitious almost.
Yes.
More grounded.
I mean, and he's still very ambitious. But
he doesn't have a demon helping him. It's very ambitious for a human.
You know what? His demon was pride.
Oh,
That's
shit.
true.
As we're going to get into, his demon is still fucking pride, no matter what the story tries to tell us.
It is. Okay, we'll talk about it. But yeah. Anyway, Kazante is monster hunting. He makes a lot of friends along the way, but teams up with a man from Marrow Mark?
What?
Marrow Mark? What? Is it Mark or not?
I pronounced it Marrow Mark just because it seems like everyone there is a sharpshooter.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, like arrow,
yeah.
Marrow. All right, Mark. Marrow Mark. Anyway, Kazante teamed up with a man from Marrow Mark named Taupe.
Just like Tope, maybe?
Tope?
I would have assumed Tope.
I was thinking taupe because it's the word trope, but without the R. So that's all I could think about it every time. But we'll say Tope, because Taupe is a stupid name.
Shit.
Unless your name is Taupe, in which case it's a
I'm
very
really
cool
sorry
name.
if your name is Taupe. Honestly, that's not bad. But Taupe is a color, like Taup. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So Kazante teams up with a fella named Tope, who was a ranged fighter, and they eventually became lovers as well. Meanwhile, fucking Azir and Xerath are just up to all their bullshit, wrecking things, fighting over Shurima. I guess that's what they're doing now. And one of, I think it's Xerath's monsters now is kind of preying in their territory. It's a lion cobra thing, but then they call it Cobra Lion. The rest of the story, I don't know why I wrote Lion Cobra. It's a Cobra Lion.
Sounds like a member of like a villain for the G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking fucking the Karate Kid.
Also
That's
works.
where I went instead. Anyway, a Cobra Lion. Kazante and Tope, God, no, their rhymes, their names rhyme now. They try many, many times for a long while to defeat the monster. Kazante is getting more pissed off, and Tope suggests that maybe they need help. And this kind of all eventually leads to the two of them breaking up and parting ways because they're just not seeing eye to eye on how to defeat this thing. Kazante is continuing to fight the Cobra Lion and then realizes maybe brute force isn't gonna cut it after all. Weird Kazante. So he goes crawling back to Tope, who has left and returned to Marrow, leaving his aunt there behind, who gives Kazante some notes Tope knew he would eventually need. Tope wrote the beast was a Bakai, which is a fallen ascended. We kind of talked about that last week with Rammus, because there's thoughts that Rammus might be a Bakai. Kazante is reading this journal and learning new ways and has a big change here. New perspective, I guess. Sure, bio. I don't see it. But apparently he just has a big old change of heart. He's a new man now, Kazante. So the next time Kazante is fighting the Cobra Lion, he's able to beat it. I don't know. They're kind of vague on this. They're like, he has a new technique now, and he implements that technique.
Is weak to water.
He is weak to water, which is really funny. Like, the whole time, y'all couldn't figure that fucking shit out? Okay.
I guess it's hard.
Okay,
they live in the desert.
Best science reference
live
ever.
in the desert.
It's not like a bunch of aliens that are attacking Earth that are weak to water. It makes sense.
As they're literally breathing in an atmosphere full of water. Yeah.
Actually,
No. Science is a stupid movie. Don't come at me with otherwise. Anyway, Kazante beats the Cobra Lion. He takes some of the armor, which they mentioned earlier, has like self-healing properties, I guess, and he can he uses it to create new weapons, new versions of his weapons. And that's kind of it. And he's now waiting until Azir or Xerath stray a little too close, and he can fight them too. And I'd love to see it. I love how they include Azir in that. He's like, yeah, I'll fucking fight Azir. Fuck Azir. Yeah. I'm with you on that, Kazante.
Yeah, I think Riot, in modern writers, have kind of realized, maybe Azir's like a bad guy.
Maybe Azir wasn't the best.
Yeah.
I'd love
They're
love
not
that.
rooting for our hero. What do we do?
The slave owner Azir. Why don't they like him?
Smite them from Shurima. Just destroy any record of them. Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah. That's Kazante. Okay. I'm kind of mixed on this. I like seeing this other part of Shurima. I like Kazante. I like how we kind of see the young, hot-headed version of him, and he has this relationship that doesn't work out. And then I like the short story that goes along with them later, of them kind of not reconnecting, but meeting up as adults and seeing where they both messed up. Because who hasn't had that? Like, where you were in a relationship with someone too early. You weren't ready to be with them. And you both weren't mature enough to handle it. So I like that. But I feel like parts of it are a little too over descriptive and then too vague at the same time, which is very confusing to talk about. And I don't really see the arc that they have for Cassante here.
Yeah, and there's a weird irony even like within the because I think the irony extends to the short story too, when they say like, oh, he learned his lesson real good. But let's recap here. Okay, so he's still planning on fighting Xerath and Azir. Like, it took years of training, a master strategist on their side, to beat one random ass Bakai that was crafted by Xerath by throwing together some random fauna, probably in a fucking drunken stupor.
Yeah, that's exactly it. He didn't even make it on purpose. He was just like, hey, I'm gonna make a monster.
And then they were like, oh, but he learned his lesson. He's humble now. But he is going to try and fight the person that made that monster by himself. Like, no, but they even say, if Azir or Xerath dare march southward, like, dare? My dude, trust me, you killing that random ass thing they cooked up isn't even going to register on their fucking radar.
Man, I am really loving, like, drunk 3 a.m. Xerath. Like, he's trying to make a burrito. Need a fucking Bakai. Like, oh man,
we've all been there.
Too much palm wine.
That's great. I would love this comic, this little short comic of Xerath drunkenly making this.
Right, especially with like Cassante, like, the creature you poured your everything into, I have bested him. What do you think about that?
It's like, what the fuck is that? Did I dream that?
Oh shit, is that Jared? Fuck.
I wonder why he hadn't come back. Oh, fuck, dude.
Man, I can't believe I made him weak to water. That was my bad. That was an oversight.
To be fair, I was really fucking pissed. I was super... He's like dropping the parts
I made him weak to water, and then I told him to go where all the waterfalls are where y'all live.
The one place in Shurima that has waterfalls.
It seemed really funny at the time. It's just like you had to be there.
It was all just a bit.
I was just memeing,
some weird
dog.
Joke he had. It's a weird like dare he had with his ear. Like, they're never gonna fucking figure out the water thing. Fuck you.
Oh my god, I kind of like that. That's how they should reconnect. Is just trolling fucking Cassante.
Oh, honestly, yeah. I think a better arc for him might have been him realizing that he could not fight Azir and Xerath, particularly on his own. And I'm fine with them keeping his distance from Tope. He's realizing that bridge is kind of burned a bit. It's not going to happen. They can't reconnect. But finding more people, more partners, more people to fight with. But he's still riding solo where we see him now, and that doesn't really fit for what they're trying to say.
Yeah. Yes. I even have in my notes here, a more fitting ending would have been Cassante realized that in order to have any chance against Xerath or Azir, he would need help and a lot of intel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That would have been a real cool ending and would have sold to me like, yeah, okay, he learned his lesson.
Yeah.
But no, the I'm going to go fucking fist fight the moon isn't him getting over his pride.
I think that is a really good, that would have been a great change, John, that you just suggested. Because it's like, it does so much work. It sets him up to like, maybe he teams up with Jax. Maybe him and like you said, Neela, whatever. Him and Neela have a lot in common, right? It's like, there are a few bios like Kane, Nunu kind of, where you hit the end and you're like, all right, we're off to adventure. And then, like you said, kind of Rebecca's like, it feels like we're almost a little done, or like he hasn't quite learned his lesson. And I guess at that point was it like, you could have also done, okay, he's learning his lesson and he's not quite there yet, which would kind of more match how he acts in the short story. I feel like a little bit, but yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I take a little umbrage with the idea that Nazumah was able to fight off the Ascended, because it's like, the fact that they wanted to fight them or tried is fine, but like you said, John, Acathia they had to unleash the void to have a fucking chance, and it's like, I feel like if the Ascended marched with purpose, they would not have been bested. I guess is kind of my feeling.
Yeah, I think having some sort of explanation, like what did they have that was it Acathia? you said something else. You pronounced it differently. Am I an idiot?
No.
No,
We've
okay.
always said it Acathia, but in Legends of Runeterra, Jax calls it Acathia, so I am going with that.
Acathia. Okay, well, we'll go with Acathia. Yeah, that they had something that Acathia did not, but we're not really learning that. Like, does Cassante now have something that allows him to fight Ascended, passed down from his ancestors? How were they able to fight it when historically no one except the Void has had any chance? I mean, it's a little insulting to Jax, which I'm going to go ahead and say that maybe they just aren't really familiar with Jax's lore when they were coming up with this. I don't know. But it is kind of like a little bit of a slap in the face to everything that Jax and his people and his whole city went through, to just be like, oh yeah, they just fought him off. I don't know.
Yeah, there's like a line.
Have you seen these weapons these guys have? Like, they're real cool.
Like, did you
They're
ever think
real
to hunt
hard.
the monsters? Right? Like, duh, to the head of the 8.
Why didn't you fight him, Jax, you idiot?
Fucking moron.
Maybe get a weapon or something. But him pairing up with Jax is the most sensical. I didn't even think about that, because Jax is specifically looking for people who are wanting to do this.
And he's got
here
quotes
he is.
towards him, too.
Oh my god.
Like, he's got quotes towards him. He's got quotes towards Neela. Just like, hey, you're fighting bad guys, too. Like, we could get together. And I think for Jax, he's like, I'd love to learn from the best. Like,
Jax would have made
quotes.
so much sense. I don't know. Do they have something against, like, progressing another champion's lore in someone else's lore? Because I think having Jax show up in some way, or him being like, I have heard of this warrior, from Acathia, or this forgotten land who's still roaming. I need him. I need to learn from him.
Yeah, and Jax, too,
I
should
can't
be
do this.
attracted to this area, because he's looking for people, like, the best fighters, like
Hearing about
like
this
he-
monster.
Right? Or someone described as
stock up
the
on eggs and
pride
get to
of-
Nazumah.
Right, yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, it's, wouldn't it have been cool if we were reading this bio and it was like, and then he's like Jax just shows up. It'd be like, oh
my
man,
God.
that's cool.
That would have been so fucking cool.
Right? Like fucking Samuel L. Jackson, he just shows up after.
Sure, John. Like Samuel Jackson.
You kind of lost me there.
Yeah,
but
like Nick Fury at the end
I
of
know
an
Nick
Avengers
Fury
movie,
is
where
someone,
he's
yeah.
just like, hey, Cassante, I saw your shit. Fucking cool as hell. Come with
Join
us.
my
We're building a team.
Except he doesn't have any teams. It's just him and a cart of eggs.
meet the rest of the team, and it's just like,
Imagine if that's how fucking Iron Man 2 ended. That would have been great.
just
A drawing of Fiora, too. I fought her on a bridge once. It was real fucking cool, but she didn't want to join.
You want to join, but that's my goal.
It's an IOU. Oh my god. Shit. There's a line like in the bio that I think it's like a single sentence that is like, yeah, they monster hunted, and that's why they're able to stay independent. And it's like the type of shit I would write like if I was doing my D&D like world building, and I was like, okay, I gotta fill this place out later, but here's the thrust.
Right.
This is like the answer, but there's a million more things you need to write to make it work. So
Yeah. The players are going to ask questions. I need a quick answer to give them without
Yeah.
going into too much detail.
I can riff
And
off
then they
that.
Time
ask-
to figure it out later.
Then they ask questions you never fucking expect.
what do the monsters taste like? I don't fucking know.
What was the monster's name? Like, what did their mother call them?
Was it bullied?
Can I pet the monster?
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I like the Monster Hunter part because it's very like grounded. Like we said, it's like Neela, but I think it's more grounded and it's more like tangible. And it's like, yeah, it's a great setup for what they're doing. And it's like that could be his, monster of the week adventures. It's like that's all fine.
Yeah.
It just feels. What it feels like is it feels like Riot was like, well, we want a new place to put him again. Like Neela, it's like, we want a new place to make this guy from. So Nazumah, hey, there you are. Right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with that, because I think we've talked about how I'd prefer them coming up with a new town in a place they've already established.
That's true.
Yeah, at least it's still in the desert.
Rather than being like, here's an island that no one knew
That is a
existed,
good
and they
point.
never leave it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. And they're real upset at Camivore, but Camivore doesn't give a shit.
Big bullies. Yeah. Yeah.
By the way, this was by Michael Luo,
Oh, thank you.
Okay,
Not
yeah.
credited.
who also did the short story.
All right.
All right. Well, any other final thoughts on the bio before we go on to the short story?
I'm curious why they refuse to use the name of real world weapons if they're going to use real world weapons.
I was curious.
Like, I promise I would not be taken out of the fantasy if you just called these tonfas. You don't need to call them natofas. It's the same letters, just rearranged.
This is some Sandpar shit, okay? This is like old Riot rearing its ugly ass head.
It's hard, like...
Imagine if they called swords, like, I don't know, draws.
Wasads.
It's a doors.
That's the new name for swords, by the way. That is what
I
we're
almost
gonna
said
call
words because I was trying to rearrange sword in my head real quick, and the first thing that popped in my head was words.
That tracks.
it.
Yeah, it's like I don't know if, like, I get you probably want to, like, oh well, you know, it's a fantasy world, they've got different shit, but like I'm not going to be taken out of the fantasy, I promise. And like trying to imagine what weapon you're trying, especially because you don't describe it in the bio.
I had no idea what the fuck. I only know because of his photo, which they're probably counting on. But literally, in any fantasy, they still say they don't give a new name for a shield or a sword, even a gun. Like when it's fantasy, they still have the fucking names that we have. Like you don't have to come up with a new name for it.
Yeah.
They still say shuriken. Like why don't they have any?
Even Kiana, they gave her shit a new name, and then they gave her a quote that was like, "Call it a ring blade one more time." Like, at least you're acknowledging that that's what it is.
Yeah, that's fair. Someone like misspeaks. Your tonfas? I mean, Sorry, I just get tricked up.
I love that.
Yeah.
Or if he has an interaction with somebody who has the same weapons, and he's like, "Why the fuck are you calling them that? Are you okay?"
Right?
Yeah, more Tonfa champs.
Yeah.
2023, the year of
Yeah.
Tonfa champions.
Now I need to Google tonfas because I haven't looked at Cassante that closely.
Do you remember the new Mortal Kombat movie?
Absolutely.
The main character.
Okay, you talked in detail about his weapons, actually.
I know.
Are you a big?
Because you don't see him a lot. You saw him in like what is it? Like Tony Jaa uses them a lot.
First of all,
they're like a
the new Mortal Kombat is fucking bomb. Okay, John and I love that movie so much, but his tonfas are dope because they're like bladed.
Sick.
One of them's like bladed, right? Or
Yeah.
something like that.
That's pretty fucking cool. I always think of that South Park episode where they get the ninja weapons, because that's what Stan always had with the tonfas
Oh my
of
God,
Takinawa
right.
or whatever.
Yeah, his tonfas are big as hell.
Yeah.
they're big as hell. Yeah.
I think you mean his Natofus. Thank you.
Yeah, his Natofas. I don't know what you're talking about right now.
Yeah. You know, I like his, this isn't
super
related to
weird.
the bio, but whatever. I like his design overall because he's really like,
Yeah.
they kind of got some exaggerated proportioning going on where he's like really big on the top side. And it's like, he's got a nice silhouette for like someone who's just a dude. He stands out and I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. He's got a I mean, his design's great. It's cool as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, and those big fucking, they're almost
Yeah.
like dual shields, kind of.
They really are.
Yeah. Which I'm
Yeah.
sure is what they
like
originally
he
thought
cut-
of. But
Cut like Brahm's shield in half and just
he's even, one of his W, he kind of puts them together and like uses it as like a defensive thing. And then dashes. Because he's got at least 2 dashes.
too much.
You
Of
gotta.
course he does. We only really play ARAMs these days, and not a lot of people playing Cassante and ARAM right now.
Well, I mean,
There's not
shit,
as
you
much
gotta get 'em.
terrain to dash people through.
Yeah.
There is now.
That's true.
Yeah. All right.
Sam, why don't you take us through the short story?
I did the bio.
Yeah.
Everything we should have said.
Oh, I thought
I
you were
said
asking
the title. That's my part.
Oh, me? No, that's your job, Mark.
Oh shit! Well,
Marrow, Mark, let's go.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I missed the mark because I didn't take notes on this one. But I think I got it. It's
That's
no
okay.
big
I think
deal.
we can figure it out.
Yeah,
It's really, really basic.
It
yeah,
really
I can
is.
Give you the
Yeah. So Cassante is fighting some Zareth, kind of like they're like followers, cultists, kind of. I don't know. He's one
Yeah.
against many, and he's fighting them off, but he's also kind of having a hard time with it. And all of a sudden, these archers show up and help him out.
Who is it
And
gonna
one
be?
of them's got a mask,
Yeah.
and it's like I don't know who
They
that could-
really fucking draw this shit out.
I was so funny, and they even have okay. So one was wearing a mask, and they have a moment is like his voice was familiar somehow, and I'm like, you were fucking this dude for years. What are you talking about?
they're like, ooh, a sharpshooter has come to the rescue. Ooh, a mask. Ooh, a familiar voice.
We knew who it is. Just say it was him
We
right
knew
away.
who it was the second an arrow showed up.
It didn't. Oh god.
Would it have been more interesting if it wasn't Tope? If he was like almost kind of building it up and like
Okay.
expecting it?
If if you're gonna mask him, build it up and then have it be someone else. Although I would have been disappointed, and you have to mention that Casante's also disappointed because he thought it was Tope. That's the only way.
It should have been Tope's husband to be.
Oh, that would have been sick.
Shit,
dude.
that would have been.
Fuck.
Dude.
That would have been really good.
That's the suggestion
but they wanted
of the
conversation. They wanted him to have a conversation with Tope, which is fine. Although we could have later, you know, he like runs it. But anyway, if you're gonna have it be Tope the whole time, he's unmasked. Maybe Casante has a second where he doesn't recognize him because it's been so long. He's so different. They're so different. That I think I could have seen. But otherwise, I don't understand why they tried to make it like it's a big mystery. We know who it is based on the title. I knew he was gonna show up.
I mean, like that.
Everything we should have said. You're gonna have a conversation with your fucking ex, obviously.
Yeah. Anyway, so these archers save his ass. He's very injured actually through the fight, and he kind of wakes up a couple days later after being on the mend. And him and Tope, they have a conversation, like you said. They kind of have some dinner, and they kind of talking back and forth about where they're at now. And we learn things like, oh yeah, like you said, Tope is engaged, and Casante is, you know, it's pretty amicable. They, like you said earlier, Rebecca, they're both kind of acknowledging, like, yeah, I fucked up. And then Tope's like, no, I fucked up. You know, they kind of recognize the ways that they maybe failed each other, and seem to be able to kind of come back together as friends. You know, like, we're not gonna reconnect in that way, but we can still like enjoy each other's company, etc., etc. And that's just mostly it. It's just them kind of enjoying talking and eating together and kind of reflecting on all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I loved the whole conversation between them was very good. I liked it was the type of closure that I actually felt like I needed after the bio.
Yeah.
So that was nice to get.
Yeah. I mean, we've said it before, I think Riot tends to succeed when stories are not just these for a color story. I'm really surprised that so much of it is just this conversation. And like you said, I agree that it hits that sort of a little bit of a closure point for him, you know. It's a neat thing to tell. Frankly, though, I do love the idea of him having to, like, being saved and talking to Tope's, like, you know, husband to be, because that's a bit more, it's more of like a test of his maturity, right? Like, there's a moment where Tope's like, oh, I'm engaged, and it stuns him for like just a second, and then he kind of picks it up back normal. But to hear it from someone who you don't know and is like you don't have any connection to, and you have to kind of be great, like, mature about that. I would have liked that, I guess I'll say.
Yeah, and maybe if they want to acknowledge that Casante quite hasn't changed as much as they maybe thought.
Yeah.
Because, it does feel like Tope has moved on a lot more. He has, like, he's a commander now. They call him commander. He has, like, this whole group that he's fighting with. He's engaged. He has moved on and grown so completely. Whereas Casante, he's truly doing what he was doing when they were together. Tope even says, like, you're still kind of doing this, huh? Like,
right?
Still wearing Axe, huh?
Said,
yeah. Axe Bros, man.
Axe Bros.
He can't give up the Axe Bros.
If you haven't listened, players.
Patreon content.
Players, but yeah.
Yeah, so they've got a quote there that said, I expected Nazumah to send its finest. What I didn't expect was to see you, just you, fighting 20 plus of their soldiers. And he's like, yeah, I thought I could take them. Just decidedly...
hasn't learned at all from the bio. I'm still so confused why they took, like... 2 Heimerdingers to explain to us that he has grown as a person when he clearly hasn't.
Yeah, it's like I said earlier. If you wanted to paint him as like someone who's on the road to maturing and is like not perfect, that could be it. But it feels really definitively, even like through the trailer or whatever, the teaser. It's like, and he's defeated his greatest, you know, monster, which was Pride. So he's okay, but I mean, I don't know.
Then why was he trying to fight 25 people by himself?
I thought I could take him.
Yeah. Somebody sounds like, thought I could take a boss. I don't fucking
He's
know what
Rocky?
happened.
Adrian. Yeah, whatever. That's a terrible Rocky impression, but...
Oh, that was perfect.
It's spot on.
Yeah. I guess
I had a few specific gripes.
Sure.
That I just wanted to get out of the way. Just some logistical things, you know? Cassante had constructed them, is a quote, Cassante had constructed them with that in mind, their hefty rectangular structure built from cobra lion armor, one of the strongest materials in all of Shurima. Now, hold on just a fucking second, because isn't this shit weak to water? I don't know.
I was wondering that, honestly, are his weapons now weak to water? He better not fight outside of Shurima, because he's fucked.
Because they specifically said it was the armor that was weak to water, and that's the shit that he made his shit out of.
Yeah, he's gonna have a fight on one, like, drizzly day and just be fucked.
Is it like when you've got a cast and you have to, like, wrap it up in a garbage bag to keep it from getting wet?
Man, you better hope you never have to use the sharp side of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, when he wakes up after being unconscious, it said his Natofos. Well, first of all, he had gone through the point where he had, like, you know, when he was fighting all the people, he had kind of shattered his things and gone into ult mode with his Sharpie weapons. And then it said his Natofos were polished and cleaned. But, like, why though? Like, are they not regenerating completely untarnished? Like, I would assume if they're regrowing, they're just self-polishing and self-cleaning.
You're really nitpicking on this one, huh?
Maybe
I'm just saying, why even have them? Otherwise,
if they're gonna be all scuffed, ew, throws them in the dirt. Yeah, I don't know.
I have to polish my weapon? Gross.
Ew.
Fuck you.
Fucking waste of time. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's more a question of them being sharpened, right? Because the idea, a listener, in case you haven't played Cassante, the idea is that, like, inside that Tonfa, Matofu, whatever, there's a blade, and sometimes he'll break it. It's in like they do it in the cinematic, and he uses the stabby bits, like John said. But it comes back pretty quickly. So it's like, how would they have sharpened it? I don't know.
I don't think they said sharpened. I think they said just polished and clean.
Oh, polished and clean. Okay, I misheard you then. That's my bad.
I could have misspoke. Who
No,
knows?
you're probably right.
I'm a few in.
I didn't care about this line, so you definitely got it.
I cared very much.
Clearly.
But then there's a bit that I liked, and I don't know. Okay, so Cassante tries to remember exactly how long has it been, and he's trying to remember how long it had been since he's seen Tope. And then Tope says, 2 whole days. You were out like a baby armadillo. See, but he kind of responded, you know, to the question that was in his head, which I like, and I don't know what this writing technique is called, but you see it in musicals a lot when someone is like singing something that sounds like it could be a response to the first person's line, even though it's a completely different thought. I always like that when I see it. If you know the name of it, get in the comment.
Let John know.
Let me know.
Yeah. Man, I don't know. Okay, I got a little gripe. I wish they had come up with a name for the monster instead of saying lion cobra about 10 times.
Yeah, you would have thought
What
at
is this,
some
Avatar?
point. At some point, they would have started calling it something. Like, I could imagine the two of them just up late at night, you know, they're talking about the lion cobra lion, I don't know. And then they're just like, let's call it something else. And then they give it some name. Even if it's just like a jokey name, like they're trying to make it sound like, we'll call it, like, Marshy Marshmallow. That's just what I would have called it.
That's what... Yeah, I think they should edit the story and replace.
I think you should edit.
Yeah, Marshy Marshmallow.
Riot, you're welcome. Please hire me. I
for
could write
free.
your stories. That one was free, but the rest of them are going to cost you. I'm really good at naming things. The thing is, I wanted to say Squishmallow, and I was like, that's a thing. That's a thing. That's a thing that the Gen Zers love. But yeah, Marshy Marshmallow.
Okay, cool. I don't know about the Squishmallow shit, but I'm on board the Marshy Marshmallow train.
Squishmallows are little stuffed animal things.
Oh,
I don't know. I like
TIL.
TikTok. They're on TikTok.
Oh, okay.
That's how I learned about the Gen Zers.
It did not occur to me. I was reading this lore at night because I usually stay up until like 4 a.m. I was reading this around like 2 a.m., which is around like when I have my kind of second dinner. So I was pretty hungry. And the fucking Ghibli food descriptions they were giving about the feast
food.
really got me.
It sounded real good. You know what would have been great on that food? An egg.
A fucking egg.
Fucking
Nice
egg.
fried egg.
Little Jack's egg on there. He doesn't fry them,
No,
John. He
hard
hard-boils them. He's got to travel with these eggs.
I was thinking Ghibli still.
You
Sorry.
can't travel with a fried egg.
It's true. That's impractical.
Oh, it's Shurima. Where does he get these eggs?
Those are good.
From
the Beatles.
The lion cobra chickens.
They'll be like chicken dogs or something. Have to be something two not scary things.
Pulls
Dogs
out this
are kinda
massive egg. You guys want?
Could you imagine if that was the hard-boiled eggs he was eating this whole time? We can't get over the Jack's eggs thing, so. Or I can't. I don't know what it is.
He's like 6 of those though. Like that's too much. He'd be
6 was so
Or however
many,
many, I
right?
don't
He's
remember.
farting all day.
There's another quote here.
Okay.
That said, it was Cassante kind of thinking back, and he's like, how in their interactions there was always laughter, on hunts, at dinner, in bed. Same, Cassante on that one.
John's always laughing at himself in bed, or at me. I can't tell you.
man, cracking good jokes or just like is that
He
self-deprecating?
just laughing. He's always doing knock jokes right in the middle of it.
Hey, when you got it, you got it.
I thought that line was sweet because I'm getting in my older age, in my wise old years, I'm learning that a happy, like a comfortable, joyous household is one where you're just laughing all the time. And that's ours. We're just always laughing at each other. And Poppy.
And
Yeah.
Poppy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It is nice and sweet, like you said. It's again, there's like maturity there in kind of how he is reflecting on things, and they're like constantly chuckling at each other in this conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're always making each other laugh and stuff.
Yeah.
Still, there's still chemistry, you know.
Last thing I had here is that like we get to see a picture of Tope's bow in the artwork for this story, and I think he might be the first one to have cracked the compound bow in all of Runeterra.
Maybe that's what makes.
Maybe that's how they're taking down the Ascended.
Yeah.
Does Ash not have one?
No, she's just got a recurve.
Oh.
Like a fucking chump.
You're right.
Well, you know those sad Freljordian warriors there.
They don't got
Barbarians.
She made it out of ice or something, John. She's doing her fucking best.
Actually,
man.
she didn't make it. She found it, right?
Yeah,
That's true.
she did.
It's a secondhand bow. You can't expect quality. It's not made out of lion cobra bits or whatever the fuck they hunt there.
So did they make anything out of those Zareth followers that they killed? You gotta assume no, right?
Dinner.
Oh, hey.
Oh. Yeah, what did those zealots taste like, right?
Oh, man.
Answer the real questions.
Cowards. But yeah, that's the those were the stories.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
The cinematic is we kind of get to see the fight between Cassante and the lion cobra, which is pretty cool. Now, I'll be honest, I originally had beef with this. Again, just sheerly logistical, because we see his Natofos regenerate at the end, and I remembered from the story that he made those regenerating Natofos from this creature. So it seemed weird to me that he would have had them. But I think there's a time skip. I think like after he defeats the enemy, there's kind of like a flash to the future, and now he's a new man with his new Natofos, because they do look a little different. So I'm going to give him a pass on this one.
Is it Nchofos or Natafas? You said
They're both fake bullshit. They're Tonfas.
You can say anything.
It doesn't matter because it's both made up crap.
Calvin Ball. But yeah, so if you thought the same thing that I did, which I'm sure there are a lot of you out there, I think there's a time skip, so we're cool here.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks for giving the cinematic the pass.
That first quote at Garen is a fucking burn, dude.
Right? I wrote down some of my favorite quotes.
Sure.
From Cassante. First one, towards Garen. Garen, all privilege, no eyes.
Speaking some hard truths,
Right.
Cassante.
Also no neck.
You know what? They kind of share that though. frankly.
Yeah, I was gonna say Cassante can't talk on that one.
It's like, they're like babies. Babies don't have a neck, you know.
And their eyes barely work.
They're all walking along, their heads just.
It always throws me off when Poppy like leans and I'm like, oh, you have a neck. Oh, shit. Before you even hide that thing.
I clean that thing. Fuck. Gets green. Just gross.
Lint.
Yeah.
Milk.
It's not as bad as it used to be, but yeah, those necks get linty.
Now he has a quote to Camille that said, when Auntie said strong women are like steel, she was right.
Oh, okay.
And then he's got one towards Jace. A brighter tomorrow, Jace? For all? Or for those like you?
Ooh,
I feel like
her truth.
that would be better pointed at Camille almost. And like the thing with Jay, you know what would be, so here's the thing, right? Is hearing that, I feel like they don't know Jace's lore, because like, what is Jace? He is a pompous, arrogant motherfucker. Cassante should like totally see like the worst of himself in Jace almost, right? Right?
They're basing it off Arcane Jace.
Yeah, I
right?
think that's exactly it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got one towards Rengar that says, you'll make no trophy out of me, Kilash. Which is interesting. I don't think I was aware that the Kilash left the Ixtal jungles that much.
I don't know what that is. We haven't gotten asked yet.
Well, those are the Rengar's people.
Oh, Rengar. Did you say, I thought you said Skarner.
No, I didn't say.
No, you didn't say
it's
Skarner
Kilash.
at all. Yeah. No.
Yeah. But you know, Rengo's like he's a massive exception, I'm sure. Who the fuck knows? Right?
Yeah. Who knows?
Maybe Cassante just, you know, he found them in like a book or something. He studied with scholars, right?
Yeah.
That's true. And then, if you kill someone, I like this one, who's wearing a KDA all-out skin, he says, "I went all out. You did not."
It's fucking brutal.
That's his ultimate name.
Oh, I didn't know that. That makes more sense now.
I just like the simplicity of it. That's like that's no glacier type quote.
Oh. Man,
Well,
it just occurred to me how many champions probably have ability names that are longer than that entire lore blurb.
what?
What? Oh.
That's no glacier.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
There's like
Lord.
a lot of champions that have ability names that are
Yeah.
longer than that.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point.
But anyway, yeah, that's canon.
Yeah, not a lot. You know, he's a newer champion, so we won't have a lot of AUs either.
Maybe we'll have more in the future. Maybe
Gonna
we
join
won't.
KDA.
We haven't gotten any more Akshan lore, so probably not.
I mean,
Yeah.
what, he's completed his quest. What the fuck
Yeah.
is he gonna do now?
That's a good point.
Nothing.
Nothing. Well, I mean, Cassante's also completed his quest. Now he's the most humble man in the world.
Yeah.
Shit.
Well, he's only got one AU. And it is
I've really looked at this.
Neon Strata.
And the prestige one is just like pop his shirt off.
That was
Pop the shirt.
that was the Lil Nas X one that he designed.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, few know of the foreglow, and even fewer have seen its volatile neon flames. Normally a cosmic balancing force, something has tipped the scales, causing realms to collapse and funnel the foreglow's power into single beings. Now known as Empyreans, these otherworldly forces of nature blaze a trail through the realms, each with their own agenda. The fire's spreading, with no end in sight. The first Empyrean, Pike, tears through the realms on a destructive rampage against his counterparts, birthing new Empyreans in the process. Who will reign supreme as these new powerhouses emerge, and what will they do with their rapidly dwindling time left? This one is Empyrean Cassante. Cassante prides himself on leading under adversity, but this is a challenge unlike any other. His realm is gone, he's living on borrowed time, and the other Empyreans don't realize that something released the foreglow. Something bad. bad. He knows only they can fix it, but they need their eyes opened. They need a leader. And then we've got a Prestige. And I feel like most of the time, the Prestige lore is kind of like a continuation kind of the story, right? Like it's maybe like, this is an alternate universe where like they succeeded in the mission. So this is the Prestige lore. Cassante has always been a trailblazer on the fashion circuit, and this year he definitely wants to make the audience sweat. With his crystal-laden drip and flawless makeup, he's about to light a fire under this gala.
I love it.
Okay. This sounds like one of the...
I normally...
It does sound like a Victoria's.
Oh, it does, yeah.
Right.
I normally don't like the Prestige skins, but this one's pretty dope.
It is interesting that they were just like, yeah, fuck it. It's just, this is going to be its own thing. You know what?
Yeah.
It doesn't look like the Empyrean skin at all anyway, so it's like, why bother?
It doesn't. I thought it was a different skin. I thought he had like 2 skins already.
Right? It's weird. It probably should have just been a different skin.
It should
like,
have.
Yeah, probably. This is like some money thing from Riot.
Oh, what? They would never.
I know. Yeah, Riot? Come on now. All right.
Y'all ready for some fun facts?
I am.
Yeah.
Cassante is voiced by Daobi Opere, who, you might recognize this, hun, also plays Eric's dad from Sex Education.
Oh. I honestly don't remember his dad.
I remembered, I went and looked him up, and I recognized him when I saw him. He's
in a bunch of random stuff. He's like an actor and voice actor, so you've probably seen him in some random stuff here and there.
Yes, yeah, like some kind of character pieces that I was trying to...
Yeah, I mean, he's only in a few episodes of Sex Education, I think. Great show, though.
Yeah. Side note, I was trying to make sure I got the pronunciation of his name right, so I went to the tweet where he was announcing that he was voicing Riot's first black LGBTQ champion, and oh boy, don't go there, because League players on Twitter are the worst League players.
Oh my god. I mean, there's plenty of people, lovely League players on Twitter, who are very excited about having a black LGBTQ champion, but yeah.
Yeah.
So did you get the
League's
pronunciation?
so political
or?
now.
Cassante was inspired by West African culture, and the visual goal for Cassante was to create a West African champion, with Ghana being chosen as an inspiration pretty early on.
Oh, nice.
And Joel Virgil provided the vocals for the Cassante theme.
Oh, I don't think I've listened to it yet.
You did if you watched the cinematic.
I'm sure.
Watch the cinematic.
I'm sure it was in the cinematic, but I feel like I don't normally. If I only watch the cinematic once, I feel like I'm not hearing the music as much.
I guess that's fair. Yeah.
It's quite good.
I'll hear it when I edit this episode because I'll put it in the beginning.
Hell yeah.
And then finally, there's not a lot of fun facts for Cassante. A scrapped ability tested in development was Cassante would drop his Natofos during his ultimate, and then they would become dash or terrain points. Kind of like a,
Interesting. I can hear. I love the bitterness in your voice as you
As I say
said
Natofo.
the jump. You're like, Cassante drop his Natofos.
His Natofos.
Natofos.
but yeah, that's those are the Cassante fun facts.
Wow, that's
Cassante.
really... Yeah,
That's good.
Yeah.
That was quick. Yeah, I
You say
mean,
that, it's been almost an hour.
I know. Well, I mean, that's what we had for Ramus, too. And he had old lore and everything.
Yeah.
Even in Journal of Justice, we had to talk about how much of a sex symbol he is. You know, that's important.
Talking about drip. Fuck. Yeah.
Yeah, I like what we have here, but I do, as we said, I wish they connected it with some already existing people or things in Shurima. I think that would have made sense, but...
Yeah, he lends himself very well to another one who lends himself to like a Monster of the Week style thing. So I mean, I think it'd be pretty easy to do some cool monster hunting short stories with him. I think they should retcon that he has gotten over his pride and just kind of work with he's still working on it, and then Because, I mean, I feel like it's a big part of his personality, so you don't necessarily want to get rid of it.
He could still be a very proud person. That's okay.
He's a work in progress.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I don't know. I don't have much to add. I don't think I talked up the cinematic enough because it is really good. I think it's really impressive.
It's really good.
Yeah, the animation style is real good. I like the way they switch up the styles. The music stood out to me because I think it's used very effectively. Like when he kind of turns it, he goes all out, when the music kind of kicks in, it's like pretty good. It lands pretty well. And I would,
yeah, it's pretty fucking cool.
Maybe it makes up a little bit for all the shortcomings of the 2023 season cinematic. I don't know, but more like that. So
nice. Well, that was Cassante. Let's see. Fry does anything with him. I like to see what other skins he's gonna get in the future.
Yeah.
We'll see. Predictions.
Ooh, that's good.
What's the skin line you can see him in? I could see him in High Noon, actually.
Oh, he'd look so good in a fucking cowboy hat. It would also be very Lil Nas X.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true. I'm trying. God damn, there's a lot of them. I'm trying to think what's one. I don't want him to be
Project, some kind of mechanical one.
Project's a good prediction. I was trying to.
I don't like them very much. Oops, my bad.
No, yeah. I'm kind of with you there. I had a thought, and I completely just.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine. I don't know. I want him to be the cooking AU.
A fun one, yeah. Oh, the sugar, or maybe Sugar Rush, another Sugar Rush batch. Yeah. What would his what are they called?
Tonfas.
Tonfas. What would his Tonfas be?
That's the question.
It was the Sugar Rush skin. Just big breadsticks.
It's too obvious to make them candy canes, right?
Candy canes is like your.
Well, that would be a good holiday one, yeah. But Sugar Rush is just baked.
Maybe they're like
Milanos.
gingerbread, and he's like a gingerbread
Ooh, okay.
I don't know.
Now I just want cookies.
Right? What have we done? We did this.
All right. Well, that was Cassante. Thank you for listening. We have a Twitter. It's @Loreheads. And we have a Twitch, twitch.tv/Loreheads. John mostly streams on the weekends. Every other week he'll do TFT or an indie game. Although you've been playing a lot of TFT lately.
Yeah, I'll probably stick to TFT.
All right, he's just doing TFT lately, guys.
We'll see. On special occasions, we'll do indie game, but I don't want to commit to every other week.
I get it. Yeah, for sure.
It's the only time I get to play ranked, really.
Yeah, that's true. We have a YouTube as well. We post these and some fun little clips John takes of the video. So if you want to see what we look like, it's on YouTube. If you
or watch this video.
Leave any comments
right now.
Or subscribe on YouTube. That would help us immensely. We have a Discord as well if you want to come in and join all the riveting, silly lore discussions that are had there. And we have a Patreon. We are trying to get more content up. We just did a review of the first 5 episodes of Players. I say review. It was mostly just us talking about how much we love the show Players on Paramount Plus. And we're going to do another episode about that soon. We're also, by the time this comes up, we're going to play Valorant soon, and none of us have ever played Valorant or know how to play Valorant. So if you want to see that, that's going to be on Patreon.
I installed it today, actually.
I installed it yesterday. I'm going to play the tutorial today or tomorrow. We're only going to have played the tutorial, so we at least know the controls.
Any matches.
But we have no idea what Valorant is or how to play it.
It's fucking complex, I will say.
I'm so scared. Yeah, but thank you to all of our patrons.
And a very special thank you to our Medarda tier patrons. Big Man Gnomes, Chloe Things, Kindred Enjoyer, King of Hearts, Sejuani's Baby Daddy, Chupa Moustache, and Techno Robert. You are all amazing, and if your city was being ravaged by a cobra lion, I wouldn't spend a year training first before I came to rescue you.
And he would promptly die.
Nice, get the super soaker when you golden.
That's true. You know its weakness
right?
now.
I'd read the literature.
And be sure to join us next week. We're going back to the R's, everybody. Back to it. And we're going to have another probably short episode as we talk about the Void Burrower Rek'Sai.